Hello and welcome to the Front Office Podcast. I am your host, Marcus Cameron. And as always, the show is sponsored by Tees and Trees Clothing. Tees and Trees is where we stand on business. What's going on? I know it's been a while. I apologize. Hope everybody's been doing great. We got some new subscribers to the channel, so definitely appreciate y'all checking in. Had some mic difficulties. Had to order a new mic, Samsung U2. It's a pretty good mic. It's a really good mic, but for whatever reason, I don't know, something on the inside of it fell apart. So I apologize, but I've been trying to stay relevant and make sure I'm keeping reels and different posts on the page. High Skies Visions is the Instagram page if y'all check that out. And we're on Facebook as well, the Front Office Podcast. Make sure you click, like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it, man. It's a little late. It's April 11th, about 12 a.m., just getting back from my kids' track meet. Very proud of them. Very proud of them. My daughter is blossoming. She looks great. Shout out to Lauren. My son is putting in the work. He's trying. He's going hard. He's got a little nagging injuries. Didn't get the time he wanted tonight, but and he was disappointed, honestly. He was really disappointed. But I just told him, man, like, the disappointment is what fuels the success. You can't know what it feels like to be up if you've never been down before. So, cherish that. I love his competitive spirit now. It's growing. It's a process. If you're a parent, you get it. And if you played any kind of sports, you understand. Some guys blossom at this age and some guys get here, or females. And some of them just have that moment where it clicked. And tonight I felt like was a moment where it kind of clicked for him. He was just really pissed off, but in better spirits now. But either way, I'm proud of him. The effort, both great students, man. I couldn't be happier as a parent, man. So shout out to Aaron and Lauren. Amazing kids. Love them to death. But Front Office Podcast, man, let's get to business. We had two big games, the national championship, women's and men's. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Hopefully my phone or my camera doesn't run out of storage. I hadn't recorded in a while. But let's start with the women. USC versus Iowa, a.k.a. Caitlin Clark versus Dawn Staley. Great game. Iowa came out punching early. I think they understood that they needed to try to get a lead because South Carolina is just too much of a team, honestly. They're more talented. They have more talented players on South Carolina, and they have more of them. Iowa's a really good team. They were a really good team, but they wasn't going to be able to match with South Carolina. Anytime you get out-rebounded 51-29, you're probably not going to win that game. Caitlin would have had to been basically perfect in order to pull it off. But very proud of the Lady Gamecocks, man, especially Dawn Staley and her players, the coaching staff, anybody who put any type of work into that program, man. It's an amazing thing. I'm 43 years old. I'll be 44 in July, and I have never in my life seen that program where it is right now. This is not the end of a dynasty. This is not the middle of a dynasty. You mark my words. Dawn Staley and the University of South Carolina Gamecocks, this is the beginning of their dynasty. They're bringing back most of their players. Malaysia, superstar, Tessa, if we have to see that for the next 3 years, I am absolutely okay with that. She's a player. She is a gamer to come out in a national championship game and shoot the ball that way with confidence. And that just goes to a good support system, parents, faculty, staff, and coaching staff, and Dawn Staley. She's amazing, man. She lost all 5 starters last year and came back with a brand new 5 and won and went undefeated. It's an amazing accomplishment. I don't think it's the end of it. I think they're going to be top dog again next year, but they are definitely going to have some company next year. USC, University of Southern California, Juju, one of my favorite basketball players in women's college basketball right now. They have the #1 recruiting class coming in. Connecticut or UConn just signed the #1 player in the nation, and I forget the young lady's name, but pairing her with the girls that were already hurt, and Paige is coming back. They're going to be tough. Notre Dame, they got a really good freshman down there. So, I mean, women's college basketball is here. I'm here for it, man. It's amazing. I think the reason why it's more attractive is because they have more stars, honestly. I can't call you a star from college basketball. The My man from North Carolina State, DJ, he's a great player. Definitely got a lot of fame with the tournament. Zach Edey, Rob Dillingham. I can call a few, man, but they're not as big as stars as the ladies right now. And shout out to them. You know what I mean? Shout out to them, man. That's a great thing. It's a changing of the guard a little bit. I think you'll see more of this just because the women's game is a little different. They don't have the one and done rule. And I was all for one and done and guys coming straight out of high school. But now I do see it kind of hurts college basketball a little bit because you don't have anybody who's coming to actually try to win a championship. Like they say it. They say they're coming to win a championship, but if you stay for a year and you leave, are you really trying to win a championship? I think Dan Hurley at UConn right now, I mean, obviously he has the best team currently, but I think he has the best program right now. He's getting guys to buy into being a team and sacrificing your individual talent for the team. And I'm pretty sure that's hard to navigate. And I don't agree with Dan's all his on the court antics and the shit he was doing in the national championship game. It comes across as super arrogant, but it's a method to the madness and it works, and you have to tip your hat off to him to get a 5-star kid to be able to come off the bench and give you minutes and be important and have that kid understand that this is my role on this team. It's not going to get any bigger unless somebody gets hurt. I'll have my opportunities, but I'm going to have to wait my turn. Like, that's not just coaching. That's being able to navigate personalities and family and things of that nature, man. So as much as I enjoy men's college basketball, they're going to have some work to do. I also think it's going to hurt the G League and the overtime elites, and the NIL shit is going to really – you're going to see that those leagues go away slowly but surely. They're going to go away slowly but surely because – if I'm a 5-star, why am I going to OT Elite and I'm not sure how much money you're making when I can go and get the same money playing for Kansas and playing on TV at least twice a month and getting the hype and having ESPN talk about it. ESPN ain't talking about nobody in OT Elite. No disrespect to those guys, but they not. Yeah, Scoot went number 2, but Scoot ain't a good look for the OTE or that league. Wemby came out of that league, but Wemby played overseas. You know, it's a crapshoot because unless you're a real basketball junkie, you're not actually watching those games. You're watching highlights. You're paying attention to SportsCenter, and the SportsCenter says it. If you're the average fan, you know what I mean? And I'm not knocking the average fan. This show is for the average fan because I'm an advocate for us having a voice and having an opinion and being able to express that opinion. But the truth of the matter is most average fans couldn't tell you where the OTE games are. They couldn't tell you who was on the Los Angeles Lakers G League team. They can't tell you this shit, but I guarantee you the average fan can tell you who's on Kansas team, who's on Duke's team, who's going to Duke next year. You know what I mean? Cooper Flagg's going to Duke next year. We know that. So I think you'll see that, and maybe if we get more coaches like Hurley who are able to convince these kids that, hey, look, let's win a championship. And at least try. Maybe you don't stay all 4 years. Maybe you stay 2. You know what I mean? I just don't think a year is enough in order to be able to build a team and say, we're going to win it all. It's happened before. It'll happen again. But if you want a continuously good program, that's what it's going to take. That's what the North Carolinas had. Hell, Duke never took one and dones until I don't know how the amount of years, but kind of recently. They were always a school in which the guys were expected to stay 4 years. North Carolina, 2 years. It was really rare for a freshman to leave. Now everybody just leaves. So the women's game is in good hands. I think the college game, because of the history of it, can be in good hands, but until they figure out how to get kids to stay a little bit longer, I mean, I think you're going to continue to see the women kind of surpass them. But there were a few things that I wasn't happy with as far as media coverage. And, of course, I always got an opinion on social media and what y'all chiming in and saying and shit like that. I wasn't happy with it wasn't any type of slander of Caitlin Clark. I wasn't happy with people being upset that Caitlin Clark is getting coverage even though she lost. And I want y'all to just really stay with me here for a second. You know what I mean? I'm speaking from the heart. Stay with me here for just a second. Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. Listen, I'm for USC. I'm with Dawn. I want to go to the parade on Sunday. I'm a full-blown supporter. Anybody getting on the fucking internet and saying stupid shit like, oh, it's too much Caitlin Clark coverage. Which player on USC's team is better than Caitlin Clark? I'll wait. Which one of them broke 45 D1 records while in school? Which one of them is projected to be the number one pick and has been projected to be the number one pick since last year? She is a generational player. The same thing is going to happen to Malaysia. The same thing is going to happen to Juju. The same thing is going to happen to Paige. They're generational players. They are very, very good basketball players. And whether they win or whether they lose, they're going to always grab the headlines. It is what it is. And I can tell you, the one person who ain't complaining about the amount of coverage they're getting is Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley probably don't give two shits. She don't want you talking bad about her team. She don't want you dismissing her team. But I guarantee you she do not want you hyping up her team. Because everybody who said that shit was the same people that was talking down on them when they lost last year. I can't believe they let Caitlin Clark beat them. I can't believe this. Blah, 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 blah. Yo, grow up. Figure it out, man. Figure out life. Everything ain't about being petty and everything ain't to the fucking bone, man. Caitlin Clark, white, black, brown, purple, blue, high yellow, pink. I don't give a damn. That girl is bad. She can play basketball on any damn level. I don't care that she curses on the court. Personally, honestly, real talk, I didn't have a problem with her waving Raven off. And I like Raven. I think Raven is the anchor on that South Carolina team. She's one of the most important players on that team, and she's coming back next year. But you know what that did for Raven? She took it personally as a player, as she should have. She got better. She became a better shooter. She became a better player, and she was locked in. Ripped her 3 times during the national championship game. Did an amazing job on her from second quarter on. Only had 3 points, didn't shoot the ball well, didn't matter. She performed. She said that the revenge tour is over. So why y'all can't let it go, man? Just let it go. Like, it kills me because it's like y'all so ready to tear down somebody else, but then complain about the amount of people watching basketball or watching women's basketball. That's crazy to me. I would want as many stars as possible if you're trying to grow the sport. That's what it takes. That's how the NBA got big. That's how college basketball got big. You got all these teams and you got all these stars, and it's a good product to watch on TV. That's what women's college basketball has been coming. It's been that way for a while, in all honesty. The women have always had great players. It just, for whatever reason, everybody gravitated to her. And it took it to a different level. And you got to respect that. If you don't, you just don't respect basketball and you just don't know what the fuck you talking about. You know what I mean? Like, real talk, you just don't know what you're talking about. You just talking. But other than that, man, I really didn't have any problems with the national championship game. I will say it was a little bit one-sided on the calls early in the game. Definitely going towards Iowa. They're going to have to do a better job with that. And just in general, I think the women, man, like, the refs, I don't want to disrespect them because I respect refs, but bro, like, y'all got to make some of these calls. It was throughout the tournament. It wasn't just that game. It wasn't just the USC game that Page and Iowa going again at having that illegal screen, while the game's on the line. That was a horrible call. It was a horrible call. Yes, it was a foul. Yes, she did move. You just don't call that. I agree completely with Diana Taurasi. You don't make that call during that time of the game. That's horrible. That is awful. That is an awful call, and you robbed us of possibly a moment that none of us would have ever forgotten. If Paige goes out and makes a three, or she dumps it off and it's a game-winning play and they beat Iowa, that's a play we'll never see because of a referee. Just being honest. We'll never see it. If they miss, oh well. At least we got to see it. At least we got to see how it played out, man. So, but that's really all I had on the national championships. As you can see, we are still building here in the studio. I got some new lights. They actually are pretty cool. I can sit here in the dark and actually it looks like it's light and it looks good. So I'm still going to be playing with the background. We got some different things going on. Tees and Trees apparel is very close to being released publicly, man. So y'all checking in on that. Again, High Skies Visions is the Instagram page. The Front Office Podcast is the Facebook page. Damn, sorry it's late, y'all. Click, like, subscribe, share, comment. We want all the smoke as far as going back and forth. Just be respectful, man. I've been seeing some comments online, man. I'm not gonna bring no attention to it, man, but just this is a sports show, bro. Like, it ain't nothing messy over here. We not doing gossip channel or none of that bullshit. It's just strictly sports. If you got a sports opinion, you don't have to agree with me or the people I bring on the show as guests, but let's keep it respectful. But for that, man, I appreciate every single subscriber. We've been growing slowly but surely, and interviews are coming, I promise. Basketball season is just over with. I definitely got some great ones lined up, man. We got some really good content coming, man. So y'all stay tuned, man. I'm going to go ahead and just call this a night. I'm going to try to redo a NBA recap tomorrow, hopefully. And I'll get with y'all on the next time, man. On the next time, this is your host, Marcus Cameron, Front Office Podcast. Tees and Trees is where we stand on business. Peace.